all the women being on the battlefield in the same area at the same time, that's improbable. That's improbable, my guy. What's up, Avengers? Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. So today's video is going to be, how do I say, kind of like a shit-talking video, but also with like a positive spin on the end. Basically, a few days ago, I had a thought about the MCU and Phase 4 and how everyone's kind of just been hating it because they say that it's so woke and that it's pushing a message and everything's got a feminist agenda. And while I don't disagree with that, I do think there was one particular moment that for me is where the MCU and Marvel got feminism right. There's been so many films and so many TV shows that have came out revolving female superheroes and centered around strong female empowerment in Phase 4 and at the ass end of Phase 3. So one moment is really not that good, but what can I say? It's the one moment that I think is kind of redeeming. And luckily it happened well before all this other bad shit happened with MCU. Before I get to that one moment, I do want to go over, I think, my top 3 cringiest female empowerment moments that I've experienced from the MCU. And when I say I've experienced, I mean like the ones I've watched, because I haven't seen things like Miss Marvel, so I don't know what really happens in that. I mean, there might be moments in that are even more like, ooh. You know, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. But if you guys know of any other ones that are outside of the 3 that I'm gonna mention, feel free to comment them down below and I'll go check them out and see what I think.
I totally forgot to say Avengers, let's assemble. So Avengers, let's assemble.
This one, oh my God, as bad as it was, we can't say that this speech didn't make moves, because it made moves. It made everyone move in front of their cameras and record and talk about how much they hated the scene. And that is Jen Walters' monologue in She-Hulk. Let's go ahead and watch that, shall we? Roll the tape.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger.
Here it comes.
I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
So you guys saw what I saw. It just wasn't very good. But I've discussed a lot of my thoughts and opinions on what I thought about this particular moment in MCU in my She-Hulk review video. As a woman, I understand where Jen is coming from with a lot of the things she said. I work in a male-dominated career field as well. I get it. I do get it. However, it's just so, what is the word I'm looking for? Tone deaf. For her to tell Bruce Banner, of all people, that she has had it harder than him when it comes to regulating her emotions. Babe, are you joking? Because there's no way that she's fucking serious. And for this strong feminist moment that they were going for, she just ended up looking like an asshole. She didn't resonate with male viewers. I doubt she resonated with female viewers. She didn't resonate with me. That one was a bit cringe, 100% a bit cringe. However, there is another one that, while it's not as bad, it was the same vibes and the same energy, and I personally hated it. The next one is going to be Jane Foster's little mini speech at the end of Love and Thunder. Roll the tape.
First off, the name is Mighty Thor. And secondly, if you can't say Mighty Thor, I'll accept Dr. Jane Foster! Thirdly, eat my hammer!
Truly screaming and crying. Oh, Padme, how the mighty have fallen. It's so cringy. I'll give her that, the Dr. Jane Foster part, because we love a bitch with an education. But eat my hammer. Eat my hammer? Is it something that I'm not knowing? Is it something from the comics or something? Because it's just not giving. While I do like Jane Foster as a character, that whole little line of dialogue, we should have stopped at the "you can call me Dr. Jane Foster." Like, that in and of itself would have been fucking, yes, bitch, yes, doctor. But the eat my hammer part and just, no, jail. Honestly, truly jail. Moving on, I have to preface by saying when we saw it in theaters, I did not have a problem with this scene. As time went on, the more I saw it, the more I was just like, I don't think so. And that, as many of you guys will know and probably agree with me when I say it, is the all-female Avengers scene at the end of Endgame. Roll the tape. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, wow, that's, it's very cringy. When I watched it in theaters, I didn't originally have an issue with this scene. And I actually kind of was looking at some of my male friends a little bit sideways when they stated the problems they did have with it. I just felt like their reasoning and their logic behind why they thought it was cringe was just a little bit misogynistic. I just feel like their major issues with the scene was just the fact that it was like an all-female scene, and then some of their reasons to try to explain it were kind of dumb to me. One of my friends said that, what are the odds that in the middle of this gigantic intergalactic type battle that you're gonna have all the women in one area of this huge battlefield at one time? I'm looking at it like, bro, it's super powered people fighting aliens from another planet. What are the odds of any of it? Be fucking for real. You're telling me that out of this whole scenario, the one thing you don't believe, the one place where you can't suspend your disbelief is that all the women could be in the same part of the battlefield at the same time? Not the fact that homie's fighting a fucking outer space alien with an enchanted hammer. No, it's the fact that all the women being on the battlefield in the same area at the same time. That's improbable. That's improbable, my guy. One of my favorite YouTubers, Dylan Is in Trouble, he actually got flamed because he critiqued this scene, and then he went back and he did a follow-up video to it, and I think his explanation kind of said it best, why this was an issue for a lot of people and why it's now become an issue for me as a scene. So I'm just gonna play that because I think he explains it better than I think I ever could.
I want to see more female-led movies, but I don't want it just like to try to pander to an audience, you know? I don't want it to be like, we're not gonna give you guys your own movies, but we'll give you one scene in Avengers where you come together and fight. Is that good enough? You know, it just feels disingenuous on Marvel's behalf. And I didn't like that. It's just 100% fan service.
Basically that. I'm extremely inclined to agree with him. When you actually stop and look at everything in retrospect, Marvel hadn't had a female-led movie until the Black Widow film, which didn't come out until after Endgame and was a prequel to everything that happened in Infinity Wars. To do Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, a major lead in all of MCU like that, it was so poorly handled and so disrespectful to everything her character stood for. I feel like Marvel has been trying to make up for that lack of female representation ever since then. I really do feel like it was brought to their attention how much they fumbled the ball, and instead of integrating strong female characters with proper motivations and proper struggles, they overcompensated and they just gave us women that were arrogant, obnoxious, and they gave us weak men that kind of made the women look better in comparison. And I don't appreciate that. They really dropped the ball with that, and here's hoping that they can get back on the right track. Now that I've gone over my top 3 biggest female cringe moments in the MCU, I would like to give you guys my example, my one shining beacon of light where I believe Marvel got female empowerment in the MCU right. Roll the tape.
He'll die alone, as will you.
She's not alone.
Yes! It's short and sweet, but that's all it needed to be in order to showcase what true female empowerment should look like. And I think it helps that in the scene, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and I believe her name is Okoye, I think it helps that they were not fighting a male villain. I think it helps that it was a female that they were fighting. The fact that they're taking out another very strong, very dominant, powerful woman through female teamwork and empowerment, and it's just so subtle. I don't know. I love that scene so much. And it does it all without having to diminish the value of any other person. These women aren't made to look strong and powerful by putting down men because their opponent is another strong female. I feel like it was the right way to do feminism and to do female empowerment in the MCU. And I don't know what happened where they seem to have strayed so far away from a nice example like this, but they need to go back to this scene, reanalyze and regroup, and try to build off of this moving forward with their female characters. I know The Marvels is set to come out pretty soon, and obviously that's heavily female dominated. I actually am gonna watch it just to see. Hopefully Marvel has kind of found a healthy middle ground between, you know, showing female empowerment while also making good films and not making it super cringe. Let's see, one can only hope. These are the dark ages, my guys. These are the dark ages. Anyways, that's it for my thoughts on female empowerment in the MCU. If you guys like this video, please be sure to like it, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. If you thought there was anything that should have been in my top 3 that I didn't include. Let me know if there are any other examples that you guys have where you felt feminism was done correctly within the MCU. I just want to thank you guys again for being here and always coming back, always watching my channel and watching my videos. It means so much to me. I'm so grateful. Have a good day. Avengers, disassemble.